magic of the Cybernet Space Cube, the computer-enhanced podcast of the future. Transformers Slag Podcast.
What's up, everybody? How we all doing this Tuesday afternoon? How we all doing? It's the Transformers Slag Podcast, and we are celebrating the 40th anniversary of Transformers. How we all doing, everyone? Nice to see everyone. I apologize that this is kind of last second. Was kind of hoping the Transformer Day at Walmart would show some glorious stuff, but it really was just 3.0 stuff. Probably should have known better. I apologize if the audio quality is a little off. We're recording from the boring living room of my house. Every room in the house is awesome except the rooms that the civilians are allowed in, which is the living room, the bathroom, the kitchen, the dining area. Boring. Not enough toys. Speaking of toys, who we got here today? We got Will Murphy, Patrick Brown, Talib is here. David Cabal, what's up, Bigum? What else we got? Brainstorm 2002. We got Princeton Phalanx 59. We got a few patrons showing up. Mayoral Fabrication. So, I figured today, since the Walmart thing was kind of a bust, I would do a live stream instead. That would hopefully be a little more entertaining. And I figured I'd talk about, my first experience with Transformers, my 40th in a way, although technically not 40th. It would actually be a little later. But my first experience with Transformers. And then I figured, since Hasbro was so nice to send 36 pounds of Transformer toys to me, we'd crack it open together and explore what is inside this massive Ark of the Covenant, if you will. So, yeah. So how about that? So we'll start with just how I got into the hobby, which was, some people may have heard this story before, but for people who are new, I might as well do it. Many years ago, I had a next door neighbor, and named Victor, very cool guy. Always kind of looked up to him. He was 2 years older than me. I was 3 going on 4 years old, and he was 6 going on 7. So he was the older kid. He had all the cool toys, the He-Mans, the G.I. Joes, the trading cards, the video games, and he had some transforming robots. Now, I had no idea what Transformers was. I had zero idea. I think the only thing that really was on my radar at that time when I was 3, 4 years old was like Knight Rider, Atari 2600, like early video game stuff, which shows how old I am. There wasn't much, I would go to the arcades and marvel at the arcade machines that were available to us at the time at the local mall that was across the street from my parents' house. And that was that. And one day, my neighbor was going to go see a movie. And whatever he would go see, I would go see. Either it'd be with his mom, we'd go see a movie, or with my mom, we'd go see a movie. And most of the time, it was usually it was his mom, because my mom didn't want to sit through cartoons. And so we went to see a movie. And that movie was Transformers, the movie. And I had no idea what I was getting myself into. It was a cartoon on the big screen. Wouldn't be the first time I'd see a cartoon on the big screen, whether it be Disney movies or whatnot. So, saw that movie. And in a lot of ways, it kind of changed my life. In that after I saw that movie, and it was just like, you have to understand from my perspective, it was just like, what did I just see? It was just explosions and bright sounds and noises and all kinds of stuff. And it was so hard to explain what I had just pretty much digested. And when I left the theater, I asked my friend Victor, I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool. And then, I use the term fresh eyes, which is sometimes when you now know something, you now perceive the world differently and it was always around you. Now I go to Victor's house, who was my neighbor, and now I'm seeing those Transformer toys that were always there. But now I'm kind of seeing them for the first time. and going like, oh my God, these are so cool. He had an Optimus Prime and an Astro Train and a Ravage. I'm trying to remember what else he had at the time. I know later on he got the 2 Dino cassettes. But yeah, so it blew my mind. And I remember telling my father, I was like, I want the red and yellow robot, which was Hot Rod. And keep in mind, this is Montreal, Quebec. Language laws making everything annoying for toy distribution. 1986, the late 1986, so not all the product was out there readily available for us, especially we had across the street from us, we had something called Pascal's and Provisoire, and Pascal's was kind of where you got your closeout toys. And he went there and he got me a red and yellow robot that was named Blaster. Swing and a miss. But it was my first Transformer, and I have a special place with that Blaster. I still have it to this day, even though it's beat up to hell. One of the antennas on his head is broken. All the stickers are worn out. It saw a lot of sandbox adventures and pretending to be my Autobot City because of how big he was, and compared to my Micromasters and stuff that I would get later. So yeah, that was kind of like my first experience with Transformers. And then of course, when this VHS came out, needless to say, it got rented a billion times. Shout out to Movie Land on Côte de Neige, where I used to rent that movie insanely as much as I could. Sometimes I used to say to myself, if we never returned it, how much would it cost? Would they just charge us for the VHS? But keep in mind, VHSs back in the 80s were ridiculously expensive, sometimes $50 to $60 80s money, which is almost like $100 to $110 today. But and we didn't bootleg tapes back then. I probably should have. But years later, one of my local video stores, a different one called Take Two Video, they went out of business. And in the 90s, I got all of these are like their video store displays for the movie. Not the movie, the TV series. So he cut up the boxes, which is kind of sacrilege, but the old Marvel FHS boxes. And that's how I pretty much consumed a lot of Generation 1, because I missed most of, see, here's More Than Meets the Eye Parts 1. So a lot of how I consumed Generation 1 came from Generation 2 episodes that I would see in the 90s, which were G1 episodes repackaged, and VHSs of Season 1 that were readily available. Here's the whole stack of them just to show you guys. I actually did one backwards. Look at that. He did it wrong. Shout out to Norm, who used to own Take Two Video back in the day. Yeah, but that's pretty much how I learned about Transformers. This is pre-internet, So that was it, more or less. And long story short, obviously there's different eras of toys, and of course you have the arcade boom with Street Fighter in the early 90s, and the Marvel boom with the Marvel cartoons and stuff. And then, of course, you have Power Rangers also mixed in there with 1993. G2 came out in 93 also, so I was kind of looking at G2, my Transformer stuff that I liked. But, Power Rangers was so appealing back then that also got my attention, along with the Marvel and DC stuff. And the video game world was just, between Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and the console wars, if you were a kid during that era, that's where your eyeballs were a lot of the time. But I got the internet in 95, and then Beast Wars came out not long after that. The cartoon in 96. The toy line was also available in 95, but had difficulty finding it initially at Toys R Us. And the rest was history. Joined the online fandom in 1996. Benson Yee had a message board. I signed into that and was part of the online fandom since 1996. And here we are today, all these years later. So that's my long, short story of mine. And what's technically, I haven't been in the fandom for 40 years. I've been in the fandom for 38. And officially on the online fandom, geez, crazy. It's coming on 30 soon. 30 years in the online fandom. But yeah, so we're going to crack this open. So the funny story with this was, got a ring at my doorbell from UPS, and there was this gigantic, it was in a box in a box. And I honestly thought that, did Hasbro send the sample for the HasLab Omega Prime early? Did they send that super early or something? That's not even close to done yet. So then I cracked it open. I was like, oh my God, what is this? So they've done this for the past couple of years. I started getting stuff from Dark of the Moon onward, which is they'd send these like promo boxes. I probably should have brought the Dark of the Moon one up. Dark of the Moon one was about like this big. It was much smaller, and it was shaped like Optimus Prime's trailer. And it was the first time they did that, where they would send these like promo boxes to influencers and big names in the fandom. And so they sent a Dark of the Moon one, and it had this and that of figures, had the Ultimate Optimus, and I think the Ark was in there, and a bunch of others. They were doing also, I think, a Toys R Us cross promotion with that rescan, whatever they were called there back then. It's been so long. And then the following movie after that, they did Age of Extinction, and it came in a boring white box, like a literal boring white box that just had a Hasbro sticker on it, which showed you right away the decline at that time of the movies and the interest from the toy side of it, because Dark of the Moon sales were kind of down at the time. Skylanders was really popular game, Toys to Life, and Amiibo was on the scene, so kind of the plastic went in that direction and the eyeballs. So, Hasbro with their influencer boxes, like the Age of Extinction one was just like one of each price point. It came in a box that was like this big. No fancy decals on it, just a white box with a big Hasbro sticker on it. And last night they did nothing. Imagine. Bumblebee movie, they did nothing. Imagine. Uh, but then for like the big mainline stuff like Siege, Earthrise, Kingdom, the Rise of the Beast one is off camera here. It is way too big to bring on the screen, but it was also like a huge one. But this gives me like BotCon vibes because of the quality of the box. This is a heavy duty, crazy box that they created here. And like, imagine it was shipped. It's not even damaged. Like, it's just that perfect because it's so strong. So crazy, crazy stuff. If you have any questions, guys, YouTube members, super chats, do your thing. By the way, if you're interested. Um, but so this is the new one, and to give you perspective, up to this point, the Rise of the Beast box was the craziest one they've ever done. It was this big box, had a gatefold in the front. Um, Kind of looked like something out of Jurassic Park where it was like keeping in the velociraptors or something. And it had pretty much one of every price point in that box. And it weighed, if I remember correctly at the time, I think it weighed like 16, 15 pounds. It was pretty heavy. This is like almost 30 pounds. And from what it looks like, it has almost everything. No joke. Like, that's available at the moment, including some early stuff. So we're going to crack it open together because I didn't really dig that much into it. And we'll just kind of go through it quickly. And you can let me know what you like and what you don't like. I know there's some stuff here that I actually picked up already. So I'm probably going to be maybe doing some giveaways or something in the future. We will see. We will see. Because usually around the holidays, I like to do giveaways and stuff like that. Collector Prime, thank you for the stream. Well, thank you for joining me, Collector Prime. I know it's an odd hour to be doing this, but I figured since, again, the Walmart stream was kind of a bust, and I wanted to really do something on the 40th anniversary of Transformers to truly celebrate something of Transformers. So it also has like this cover here too, this secondary cover, which is somewhat spoilery, but you could probably figure out what this is, you know. But nice little cover that they put on the top here, like a protector on the top. And then on the back there, it's got, look at that. Oh my goodness. They went all out this time around. I am super surprised how much they went all out this time. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Actually, I'll put it here just in case I don't want to lose everything. Got so much stuff, and I know Butters is going to probably be joining us. He's sleeping right now off camera, but yeah, the Walmart stream wasn't. So there's a lot of stuff in here. Imagine it is just filled to the bottom, just filled with stuff. So first, they give a fan card with embargoes. Usually when you get early product, what usually happens is Hasbro. I wish I had the one from Age of Extinction because that one was really like, it was almost like a contract. One day I'm always scared to kind of put it on camera because I don't want the thieves to fake them. You know, like someone going, oh no, Hasbro sends me stuff all the time. Yeah, of course, we're best friends like this. Yeah, more like this. Please. Um, but yeah, they usually send stuff like this where it's embargo stuff. Like if you get it early, don't review it until past a certain date, which is way past the date on this. Make sure to say that you got it for free if you do a video or something. All kinds of stuff like that. And again, one day I'll show you guys the Age of Extinction one because that one was like a legal document because they gave us they gave us stuff like 4 months in advance. Like I remember the drift and all of those. We got a super chat for a currency I am unfamiliar with, Francesco, but thank you anyways for the gold super chat. My first memory with Transformers is renting the 86 movie in the late 80s. Was it this version? I'm kind of curious. Was it because there were different versions of them. There's the FHE version, Family Home Entertainment, which was the most common one in the West. If you were a Ninja Turtles cartoon viewer, you're all familiar with that logo too. Then, of course, later on in the 90s, they did the Rhino release, which was probably the most common one because that was the VHS that was used the most in video stores and everything like that. Probably should have brought all my VHSs are off camera. I wish I could show you. I don't want to mess with the camera. I want to mess with the camera. I already have the good camera set up now. But yeah, man, it was always back in the day. It was about renting. VHSs were so expensive back then. The first ever cheap VHS. Little side story here was the Batman 1989 movie. And we have an Amazon package coming right now. Watch this, guys. Watch this. Proto-Man's got an Amazon package coming. Are they going to ring the doorbell? Let's see. We have our lighting from here. You going to ring the doorbell? Or is he just going to walk away? And he's running. Look at him go. Good old Amazon. It literally is. You know what it is? It's a air pump for a basketball because my old one busted. One moment, I'm just gonna go get that package. Yo yo. We're doing it live. We're doing it live. Yeah, look, no joke. No joke. Ah, barometer. At least they're smart to put a piece of tape over there because that could get busted. The needle. I had my old one for years and years and years, and it finally broke. So I was like, oh, well, that $15 that I spent like 15 years ago finally paid off. Hilarious. That's $23.50. So, but yeah, getting back to what I was saying. Sorry for the disruption, but you know, it's something where we all had our different ways of how we consumed media, and back then, the very first VHS that was affordable was the Batman movie, the very first Michael Keaton one in 1989, and I think they were like promoting it like, oh, it's $9.99 for a VHS. Oh, because again, back then, like to buy this brand new back in like I think late 80s, no, early 87, I think this started showing up in VHS rental stores and tape rental stores. This had to be like $50, 1987 money time, which is like 75 today. So different era. Those VHS rental stores made so much money because it was just so expensive to buy tapes back then. But yeah, so we'll crack open the stuff. I know people want to see what's in the box. So again, Hasbro, when they legitimately send stuff to people, this stuff always comes up. If you see a toy reviewer that has product that seems way fishy and too early, chances are it's stolen, and they are part of the laundering process. And there is a lot of guys that do that. Some people built entire careers on it. It's pretty scummy. But what could you do? What could you do? except knock them out when you see them at a convention. But they're cowards. They don't come to conventions. Anyways, so let's go through it all. Here in Chile, we have reruns of G1 for many years. That's awesome. I wish I had that here. Took a while. I think Space Channel was the first one to do reruns of G1. That was like 1998. Took a while. My first Brainstorm 2002. My first memory of Transformers was watching animated and having no idea what's happening. Well, that's always the case. That was me with the 86 movie, not knowing what was happening. So the first thing that they have in here that they greet you with is a Symbiote Studios plush. And I love it too because they wrote here, thank you, Symbiote Studios. So there's a Symbiote Studios plush of Optimus, which is available on Symbiote Studios right now. Look at that. Actually, it's the same one. Isn't that funny? So this is available on Symbiote Studios right now. I think if there might be I think there might be like a little card too that's usually included, so I'll check on the bottom. This is my first time I'm actually cracking into all of this with you guys live. So yeah, we got a Symbiote Studios plush. That's on symbiotestudios.com if you want to pick it up right now. They have all the others too, which I think I have the slide available if I could show you guys, just to give you guys an idea of what else there is. Oh, not that one. That one. There you go. So if you're interested in getting any of those are pretty cool. Mayoral Fabrication with the $5 super chat started collecting with Combiner Wars. I have been experiencing the brand front to back. Happy 40th anniversary, everyone. Well, thank you, Mayoral Fabrication, and being part of the community also and helping us out. I know a lot of people that they got in during that like Go 90 era where they were doing those like you said, Combiner Wars, when they were doing those online CG things, and they were on God, what video game website was it being played on? It was being played on another website too. I don't want to say it was Game Trailers, something like that. But yeah, Symbiote Studios is on my Christmas list. Says Collector Prime with the $2 super chat, and Patrick Brown says nice Plush Prime. Thank you, Collector Prime, with the super chat. Yeah, Symbiote Studios, I believe you could also pick up their stuff if you don't want to buy directly from symbiotestudios.com, which I would suggest because you get better shipping rates, you get better everything really, and it'll probably get to you quicker because it's coming directly from them. I believe they also have them available on Amazon and I think Walmart.com. I know Amazon for sure has these too. If somehow you don't want to buy through symbiotestudios.com, which again I personally would suggest it, just helps them out. Machinima, thank you. Machinima. It's been a while. But Machinima was OG YouTube guys in a lot of ways. So what else did they put in here? So they have here, they included the movie novelization. So the entire movie in novel form. There's actually some color pages in here too, which are screens from the movie. Some stuff that actually it's some stuff that's not in any of the trailers. Some nice stuff in here though. But yeah, so it's a. Let me see what I just want to see the ending here. Interesting. So apparently at the end, Optimus Primal shows up and Optimus says, "I missed you, my lover," and they kiss and get happily ever after. I guess that was the first draft of the movie. Either way, I'm joking. So yeah, there's that. Shout out to who wrote this treatment. Might as well give them their credit. Adaptation by Ryder Winham. Okay. And Andrew Barr. Interesting. Okay, so what else do we got? So we got here the Ultimate Energon. The head's falling back. These non-window boxes. Ultimate Energon Optimus Prime. By the way, guys, I think like no joke, every movie toy is in here. Like it's pretty crazy. Everything is in here. We'll get Ultimate Optimus Prime. Yeah, that's that Energon swingy madingy. I think that's what they showed on the Walmart stream there. We got that one. We got the Quintesson High Command. That one's pretty cool, but I get a feeling we're going to be getting a studio series of this guy. This dude should totally be like a Voyager class. And if it doesn't transform, the one that we get with studio series, I'll keep this one just for the Quintesson flight mode, which is pretty cool. So that's pretty awesome. Again, a lot of these, whatever I don't keep, will be giveaways, guys. I always pass along the goodwill. I get free stuff. If it's stuff, I give you the free stuff if I don't need it. Might as well go through these. So they gave all of these, I think these were called the Titan Changers, whatever they call them. I know that's what I'm familiar with, what they're called. Those are the Titan Changers. They literally gave every single Titan Changer. So you got the Optimus, you got D16 Megatron, which I believe this is just a repack of the Titan Changer from Evergreen or Authentics. Maybe they changed the tooling a little bit. And you got a Titan Changer Starscream, which I believe this one is new tooling. Yeah, this was new tool. This was a new tooling for Transformers 1. This wasn't from the Authentics. Because I know there was a few of them that kind of are guilty of that. And then we have a Bumblebee. I love how, and I noticed this during the Walmart live stream, because the Walmart live stream clearly was for like the kiddie toys and stuff. I love how we've normalized badass as a word that can be said around children. Badassatron. What a world we live in. Then we got those Rock'em Sock'em ones. They're the Optimus and Megatron robot battlers. So we got that 2-pack there, which is pretty cool. I don't know if I want to keep these. These look kind of cool, though. These look kind of cool. I'm not 50-50 on the fence if I want to keep these. They look cool, though. Got this little spinny thing here for the advertising. Again, open packaging, which apparently is going to be stopping as of next year. And then here's a big boy. We got the Power Flip Optimus. There's that one. This one I think is this is the money product. I think this is like the one that's going to be the big expensive Christmas product. It's the Lights and Sounds one. Interchangeable, changes from Orion packs to Optimus Prime, Matrix of Leadership. Probably not as impressive as that Ultimate Optimus Primal, that auto-transforming one, which they sent last year, but still pretty cool. Still pretty cool. Don't want anything to fall. There's going to be a lot of stuff in here. What else do we got here? We got, so far her only figure. Hopefully we get more. Good old Arachnid. Featured in the movie quite a bit. She's pretty cool. She gets quite a bit of screen time, and dare I say, I hope she gets a really good figure, because right now this is all we got is this little one-step changer. What do they call this? One-step, because he always changed the vernacular. One-step cog changer. That's right. It's the one that you swap the cog and it transforms. This is the cog changer. Cog changer. And then we got the other cog changer. So we got the Bumblebee. The Starscreams is Authentics? Really? With that Cybertronian alt mode? I guess so. Very Cybertronian alt mode on there. Okay. Oh, you know what? The art on the back is Authentics, right? Look at that. Like, look, that's clearly the F-15 jet, but then look at that. Which one is it? Hasbro. That's why you got to get Marcelo to do the box art, because he'll do it right. Cog Changer Bumblebee. I'm 50-50 if I want to keep these. I'll mess with the Arachnid, and then if I like the gimmick, I'll mess with the other ones. Probably our only Wheeljack right now for the movie, but definitely we'll probably maybe see a good one later on. Yes, all of those boys are in the movie. Yes, sirree. F-15. They do the same with the Megatron Starscream. Really? That's a shame. That's a shame. Hasbro West Coast. They're responsible for that stuff. That's not a Hasbro Rhode Island thing. Oh, I see now. Let me go back to the other one. So it has this. It spins. So it's to show the spin gimmick. Okay. It's the play feature in the box. So, because here's the Bumblebee now, the Robot Battler's Bumblebee. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I get why it exists. for different markets, but not for me. Not for me. But I know someone will enjoy it. Here's right now, currently on shelves, our only Alita figure, if you don't count the Burger King toy, which I'd like to actually probably pick up just for completist sake. But here's the Alita figure from the Rock'em Sock'em Robot Battlers, which we're going to be getting soon, our Studio Series 1. And then same story, currently our only one, but that'll change very soon. Our Sentinel Prime. Yeah, yeah. Who's actually quite a riot in the movie. Derek Wyatt would have definitely approved if he would have saw that. Oh, there is a card at the bottom here. What is this here? Celebrate Transformers Day on Walmart. I did not plan this. Shop now. That was at the bottom there. Well, can't make this stuff up. What else do we got? We got this one's kind of cool. I don't know. I might want to keep this one. This is like the cheap $5 one. It turns from Optimus to Orion. Kind of cute, this one. Doesn't transform robot mode wise, but it's a little figure. This is like a desk bot. And it's made, the thing that's cool about this is it's made out of like a rubbery kind of PVC. So it's not an ABS plastic. So it's kind of a fun little figure. So, yeah, kind of cool. I dig it. I dig it. How does it just kind of just do that? How you just twist the head? Okay. You know, what do we got here? Francesco, I love the 86 movie with audio in Latin American. Many years later, I'd watch Transformers with English audio. Everyone has nostalgia for their original dub. Everyone I talk to, like, they'll be like, yo, man, you haven't seen Dragon Ball until you've seen it in Portuguese. Yo, man, you haven't seen Dragon Ball since you've seen it in French. Me personally, my rule of thumb is always watch it in the original language as it was intended. And that goes with even Transformers. Like if Beast Wars was Canadian, you watch it in the English dub and the American dub. If, Takara, Headmaster's Master Force Victory was done in Japan, watch it in the Japanese version first. That's just how it is for me personally. I mean, and I'm not throwing shade on, Dragon Ball had a good dub, Ranma 1/2 had a good dub, Golden Boy had a 10 out of 10 dub, but that's always been my kind of rule of thumb. Michael Koo, what's up, Michael? Out of all the Transformer 1, Elita 1 figures, I like the 3-0 MDLX Elita 1 the best. Well, that one definitely looks really good. That's for sure. That one you're definitely gonna get your best bang for your buck. So now we're entering some of these kind of things. There's a few more gimmick ones, but so we got this boy, which this for sure will be on the chopping block. This will be definitely something I'll be giving away because Hasbro gave me one at the VIP breakfast at San Diego Comic-Con. So this for sure I'll be doing a giveaway probably around Christmas time. Make sure the matrix didn't fall out because that's always a problem. Oh, it's true. No, they don't pack it like that. They pack it in a little thing. Okay, good. Good. I always worry with these window packages. Always worry with that. Yeah, so that'll be a giveaway for sure, 100%. So some lucky person will get an Optimus. And then we got the other Optimus. This one could be my cogless version, I guess, for now until they do a cogless one Optimus. But got that one there. These guys here. Running out of space already. So much. So we got this guy. This guy, I feel we're going to get a Voyager Studio Series. He's a big dude in the movie. Like, he's very large. Like, he's something that this doesn't scale. You know what I mean? Like, he's someone I could see they could totally do a Voyager class of this and really do it justice, and then include, like, maybe the cloak that he had, or, like, have, like, some cogs as accessories that have, like, 5mm pegs on them or something. Like, I could see them doing something like that. So while this is currently the best Alpha Trion you could pick up, stay tuned. I get a feeling something that'll work better for our scale will probably be in the horizon. This one I have to keep. Because this is the racing part of me that I love. This is the Iacon 5000 with the guy who I assume got first place. I don't remember if it was Blur or Mirage who got first place. That shows how, like, I already forgot, one of probably the most important part of the movie and how I was so blown away. But Mirage was in the movie and he was in the race. Sorry if that's a spoiler. You won't even notice him, trust me. Only a weirdo like me who was looking at all the guys in the race. Oh my God, there's that person, there's that person. Oh my racing transformers, my Formula One guys. Yeah. So this I'm gonna keep for sure. I might even keep it in the package just because it's so cool. Like that's I love that. I love that a lot. I love that. Like, yeah, I think he did get first place. Either way, either way. But it's the Blur mold from I believe it was from the Robots in Disguise line, and then they repurposed it in Cyberverse, and now they made it Mirage. So it even has Mirage's number on there and everything. So nice little deep cut to the old Ligier Formula One from the late '70s, early '80s. You know, very very cool. Then we got, oh, here's a big one, the Optimus Prime transforming mask. You know, got that one there. So that's pretty cool. The Optimus Primal one didn't do very well. I remember seeing that one on clearance quite a bit. Um, but yeah. And then we got this one also they talked about in the Walmart thing, the Battle and Glow Energon Glow Bumblebee, which is again one of the more Christmassy gimmicky items, you know. So very, very, very cool. And last but not least, at the bottom of this box is this guy that was sent early. I obviously opened it. Anyone who saw my Instagram and my Twitter already, he's over here. Megatron, way to go. uh, yeah. Actually, I'll just take this off because it looks nicer without it. More streamlined. There we go. You got your Studio Series Megatron there. That's looking pretty sweet. Pretty sweet, this one. This is really good. And I love how it scales with the Optimus. Again, when you see the movie, you'll appreciate it even more. If you have not bought any product, when you leave the theater, is there anything on? See if they did. Oh, they even look at that. The attention to detail. They even put stuff on the bottom of the box. My goodness. When you leave the theater, you're definitely going to want to go and buy some product, which is, I always feel, the most important thing is you want to make a movie that after people leave the theater, they're going to want to beeline straight to Walmart and pick up stuff. That's when you truly feel you've succeeded in making something that is really, let's be honest, a 2-hour toy commercial for your look. It's a brand. Yeah, there wasn't the BotBots one. I was actually quite surprised that isn't in there. I guess I'll have to get that one for my BotBots collection. That's kind of a bummer. Yeah, that's true, eh? That wasn't in there. Oh well, can't have it all. Who's calling me? I will call her back later. Either way, one moment. I'm just gonna tell them to call back. Uh. That's why we always do our thing. If they re-release all the Transformers shown in Transformers One, I will go broke. Well, you know what? I mean, that Bumblebee movie, that opening scene, and we got those guys for like split seconds. So it's something where, in my opinion, you know, if they're willing to do that, can you call back in, let's say, there we go. Collector Prime. I still need to see the movie, hoping to take my son this week or next. Well, I mean, it's funny because like the marketing is there's an early screening on the 14th, then there's like an early preview screening on the 20th of September, then the 22nd is apparently the official release. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say what day to go see it because there's all these like conflicting things. But I mean, it's really, really good. It's really, really good. I'm seeing it a second time tomorrow. There's a Fan Fest screening that's being run by Paramount again here in Montreal. That's going to have some giveaways and stuff too, like little keychains and everything. So I'm going to be going to that one. And then I'm going to be seeing with a different group of people officially on the official date of the 20th or the 21st, whenever that is. So I'm going to be seeing it quite a few times over the next week and a half or so because it's a really good movie. It's something that, I truly feel we were sorely missing all this time. We really were. No shade to people who really love those Michael Bay movies, but this movie is what we needed. This is what we needed to be the face of the brand. This is what we needed to be a way to get people to buy plastic, to buy toys. Because I think that the first movie in 2007 got the attention. It went, hey, check us out. Remember that 80s toy line? We're going to make a funny action movie with a beginning, middle, and end and a pretty good story. And Spielberg's going to have his DNA in it, so it'll be pretty good. And yeah, this new Michael Bay guy's going to also do his thing too, but it'll be a decent movie. And it got a lot of people's attention. And, it got a lot of people's attention at a time where we didn't have the Iron Man movie yet. We didn't have the MCU yet. There wasn't that influx of, other companies trying to make their Transformers. So it was new, it was fresh, and it was different. By the time we got to 2009 Revenge of the Fallen, you had the writer's strike that kind of affected things too. There was a lot of gobbledygook that really messed with stuff. And it just kind of was, quality just went downhill from there. Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon, Age of Extinction, The Last Night. Bumblebee movie was a decent movie, but it also didn't do what it should be aiming to do, which was to sell product. The Bumblebee movie, when it was all said and done, broke even. It didn't make money. And then when you look at toy sales were abysmal. Almost all that Bumblebee mainline movie product ended up on liquidation clearance. It didn't do well. And when you have licensors and partners and all kinds of stuff that, you're a company and you're supposed to like, have like a meeting and go like, hey, we need you to get excited about our new movie that we're making. And you're talking like sometimes a year, 2 years in advance, you're trying to convince these licensors and partners. And you go, hey, like this is going to be the next big thing and da, da, da. And it doesn't pan out. And the movie does okay. Like Bumblebee movie did okay. It didn't lose money on the front end, but it definitely lost money on the back end when you factor in advertising and then everything around it. And the I don't want to say the ill will that it created, but it didn't definitely help in a lot of ways. So it made people probably go like, and especially licensors go like, maybe we don't want to, make bath bubbles and bed sheets and folders and mugs and stuff of Transformer product. Maybe we're going to stay away. And that hurts Hasbro because if people aren't licensing their brand, they're not making money that then makes it worth it to make these movies and stuff. It's all interconnected like a web. And the Rise of the Beast, unfortunately, was the same thing. I like Rise of the Beast. In my opinion, no joke, out of all the live action movies we've had thus far, it's my second favorite. Like movie 2007 still edges out as my favorite, but Rise of the Beast is right there behind it. That's my personal. I liked that movie quite a bit, but no one showed up. People didn't go to see it, and then the same thing happened. The movie didn't do a great job of advertising the product. So what's the point of making 4 different Cheetor toys? A Flex Changer, a Deluxe, a this, a that, a mainline, when he's in the movie for a minute out of its runtime of 2.5 hours, and he had one line. That's not the way to go about it, sir. You're fired, But boardrooms be boardrooms, and sometimes people who aren't talented end up in there and suck up all the money. As I drink my tea, none spilled. But the reality is this is the first time that we've had a movie in a long while where, God forbid, the product is what's actually featured in 99% of the screen time. This guy right here is in the movie 99% of the time. These guys right here are in the movie 99. This guy probably had as much screen time as Cheetor, you know? Which, again, that shouldn't happen. But it's okay with him because he's not the feature. If you put characters on the poster and they aren't even in the movie for 50% of the time, I'm not going to say 80, I'm not going to say 90. If they're not even in the movie for 50% of the time, they shouldn't be on the poster. So those Rise of the Beast movie posters, I'm sorry. It's like a Godzilla poster at that point. You watch a Godzilla movie, we're used to at this point, because Godzilla is, I mean, as crazy as it sounds, it's over 80 years old now. Godzilla is one of these things where, yeah, he's on the movie poster, but we know over 80 years that he's only going to make up a small percentage of the movie. It's more about the human story. But that's not that with Transformers. Transformers is a merchandising media empire. And when you put Optimus Prime on the cover of a poster and he's only in the movie for, you know, 15% of it? Come on. Really? And you called in Peter Cullen to do the voice work and you were able to record it all in 2 hours? That's not how you do things. So that's why I'm very happy about this movie, is because for once, all of these things are people that are in the movie for an extensive, excessive amount of time. She might only have one toy, but she makes a big part of the movie, as it should be. You know, this gal right here does more than Cheetor did, does more than, you know, than Rhinox. Kind of sad that Ape Links probably got more character development than half of the cast of that movie. And again, that's my second favorite of the live action movies, is Rise of the Beast. But the way that they kind of steered it in terms of merchandising, that's silly. That's very, very silly. So this is a very good movie. You guys are going to love it. And look, we got product for us. We got the Studio Series stuff, which is going to obviously, be what we're going to be gunning for. Let me grab both boxes here. There's the Optimus. Here's the Megatron. That's obviously what we're going to be gunning for, is the Studio Series stuff. We're going to have the Bumblebee, and we're going to have the Alita. Pre-orders drop today with the Sentinel Prime and the ship out date for those, if I remember correctly, are early 2025. But the opportunities for good stuff is going to happen, because the way that I see it is, if this movie does well, it's going to send a message to Hasbro, we just need more of this. And I'm pretty sure Hasbro will be happy to hear that, because then Paramount doesn't have to do, live action set pieces that cost way more money, hiring, now you don't have to hire crazy, first name actors and stuff like that. You could just hire voice actors. And yeah, they're still going to bring in the Hollywood actors for some of the voice acting, but it doesn't have to always be a star-studded cast across the whole thing, you know? What do we got here? Michael Koo. If you're looking for light-up Transformer 1 figures, Walmart has the TF1 Energon Glow line, but they have some clear parts on the Energon Glow. If you're talking about the B one, where's the B one that I got here? It's somewhere here. This one here is Badassatron. Michael, because the Studio Series Sentinel Prime, at least to me, is kind of disappointing. Well, I always judge a figure when I have it in hand. I mean, even this guy here, when I first saw the images of it, I was kind of reserved. I was like, okay, I'll see when I get it in hand. And I'm fairly impressed with this one. I love this one a lot. I believe this is the first time we've had a Optimus Prime toy in a deluxe price point that has a removable matrix. So that's pretty hype. Obviously, there's non-transformable stuff that has removable matrices, but they don't fall into the deluxe price point. But it's something where I'm very happy with how the movie turned out, and I just hope that people turn out. I hope that people, do their thing and come see the movie. You know what I mean? Find a spot for Symbiote here. Ugh. This box is huge. I hope that they turn out for the movie. That's my big concern. There is literally people that would be in my comments, and like their name would be like something Prime. That would be literally like the comment. And it would be like their name is something Prime, and they'll be like, I'm going to like pretty much, I'm going to see the movie, when it goes on streaming services. And I'm like, let me get this straight. Your screen name is a Transformer name, and even you're not going to go see it in theaters? Like, you're just going to wait for it to go on streaming services? Like, do you not want this brand that you clearly name yourself after to be successful? And for once, we actually have a movie that is decent, and you're just going to wait for it to be on a streaming service. So it sounds like I'm shilling for a multi-billion-dollar company, but let's be real. If people don't go see this movie, Hasbro's going to be like, oh, I guess people don't want well-written animated movies about Transformers that feature Transformers. Maybe we should go back to the Michael Bay formula of very human-centric movies and just kind of focus on that. And I hope that's not the case. I really hope that they look at what they did right here and they just, more of this. More of this. No humans. No humans. We're done with the humans. Humans aren't product. You know what I mean? Just have Cybertronian stories. There's so much that could be written here. I don't want to say what can be written because it falls into spoiler territory. You go listen to my spoiler review of the movie to kind of, if we dive deeper into that. But there's so much there that could easily be a trilogy of movies. Easily could be a trilogy of movies. And then you could leave Cybertron and then do another trilogy of movies of just hitting planets along the way. Let's go to Speedia. Let's go to Animatros. Let's go to Nebula. Let's go to Planet X from Galaxy Force. Let's go to Char. Let's go to, let's not anything but Earth. Anything but Earth. There's so much that could be done there. So, what do we got here? Brainstorm 2002. I'm hoping they do a TV series like the recent Ninja Turtles movie. Well, again, to me, the TV series that we have that are coming up have already been kind of written in stone. It's kind of like how when the first Michael Bay movie came out and found success, the year after we had Transformers animated, because animated was created regardless of the success of the Michael Bay movie or not. When the Michael Bay movie was now proven to be successful in 2007, they right away scrambled and made Transformers Prime that much more leaned into that Michael Bay aesthetic. So it's kind of the same thing where if this movie does well, the reaction is going to take 2 years before we see anything. So whatever series we get next is not going to be so much a reaction to the success of this movie, is going to be a reaction to the lack of success from Earthspark got initially from season 1. But that's a whole other conversation that people don't like to hear for whatever reason. Facts don't matter. We need more people voicing the need to see the movie and voicing the nearly 90% Rotten Tomato scores right now. Yeah, well, anyone who's seen it, the one consensus that everyone's saying is the marketing was terrible. And I am 100% for that. Whoever was in charge of doing those trailers and teaser trailers and stuff like that, man, get rid of them. Because they were really projecting a very different movie than what we got. And I'm happy that was the case in the sense that it was a very different movie than what was being marketed. But I'm talking to people thinking it's going to be like a comedy. If anyone remembers, what year was that? There was a movie called Robots. I want to say it was 2000. I don't know what year it was. It was a comedy, a CG comedy called Robots, and it was like a silly comedy thing. I forget which actors were in it. All I know is they had a Burger King promo because when I was working at Burger King at the time, that was one of the promotions. But a lot of people were comparing it to that. They were just saying, "Oh, is it gonna be like a robot comedy where it's just robots and their silly antics and stuff?" And man, could it be any more the opposite? Where no, this is a story about the mental breakdown of an individual who was so positive about society and had dreams and ambitions and looked up to those people that he had dreams and ambitions about and how it mentally broke him. And then he went astray. And man, did he go astray the wrong way, you know? And it's just, it's a very dark movie. Robin Williams was in it. Oh, that's a shame. I would have probably watched it then because I love Robin Williams. That's a shame. What year was that? It was definitely between 2003 and 2008 because that's the bubble of when I worked at BK. Yeah, but you know, it's something where I just hope that people go to see it. I really do. I really do because if this doesn't do well, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm very worried about how Hasbro will react to that. And I'm not talking the designers, I'm not talking the marketers, I'm not talking the talented people at Takara. I'm talking the suits, the guys above, where it's all just numbers and stuff like that. And I worry that they're going to just go, well, clearly cartoons don't work well, and stories that are dark and more adult written. Clearly, the audience demographics didn't like all the death and destruction that the movie had, and that it was only about the robots and it was only featured on Cybertron. Clearly, they weren't able to connect and engage with the characters. All things, by the way, you wouldn't know unless you actually saw the movie. I hate it when people say, "Oh, this movie didn't do well because of all the things that happened in the movie." In order for people to know that, they would have had to see the movie. So a ticket would have already been sold. Avatar, which made zillions of dollars, not The Last Airbender, the James Cameron movie. Avatar made zillions of dollars not because it was a good movie, because of everyone going, "Oh my God, 3D." It was the hype that made people go see it. It was the draw, it was the advertising, it was the the marketing. And if you market a movie incorrectly and you get the wrong kind of hype, people don't want to go see it. And this movie was so loyal to the Simon Furman and Aaron Archer vision that if it doesn't do well, my God, it's a spit in the face of those two guys, especially because those two guys weaved a world of lore. And to say that that's not what people want, they just want more boom, explosions, oh, enemy scrotum, dogs humping, chicks in bikinis. Not that there's anything wrong with chicks in bikinis, but I mean, let's be real. I like my chicks in bikinis in a different place, maybe not in my robot movie, you know? So it's something where there's a place and time for everything. And my robot movie, you know, I wanted to have robots, you know? What do we got here? Unlike the toy releases for Rise of the Beast, TF1 toys aren't straying too much from the Transformers core concept of TF1 characters. Well, the cog changer one is a smart one. That one's a smart one because that plays into the lore of the story. Imagine like the flex changers for Rise of the Beast. What does that have to do with the movie? There was no flex changing, or not to mention again, none of those characters were on the screen for more than 2 seconds. Where this actually has a story component to it, which is very clever. And same thing, like where's this one here? This Iacon 5000 race pack. This has a story component to this. So, really smart. Gee, You know? Where are we at? Let me see. I don't want to miss any of the questions. Michael Koo, I watched the first Avatar movie because it was Xmas and it was 3D. I went to see it because everyone said it beat Titanic, and I was just like, and I never saw Titanic, but again, this is going to show how old I was. I worked in a video store when Titanic came out, a rental video store, and it was a big deal. It was a big deal. Oh my God, double tape, big deal. Oh my God. And we never saw anything like that ever since, at least in my opinion, that it would had that much like, everyone hears word of mouth and you got to see it. And Avatar had that. So I went to go see it based on that. And when I left the theater, I was kind of like, kind of feels like Dances with Wolves meets Vietnam, with a little bit of Duke Nukem, the main villain. I keep calling him Duke Nukem. I have no idea what the villain's name was, but I keep calling him Duke Nukem because he reminded me of Duke Nukem. But, it was okay. But greatest selling movie of all time? I don't think so. I'd rather give that to Infinity War, even though Infinity War is not the greatest movie of all time. But I'd rather give those Marvel movies that credit more so. Michael TF1 raises more questions for me. I need a sequel movie. Well, again, that was the good thing about the movie is it opens it up that there could be a giant trilogy that could be told here. There's a bigger story that's being told. This is an origin story. This is the early days of the war. This is actually answering questions that we kind of always wanted. Yeah, we had the war within. We've had prequel books done within the IDW comic book universe too. We've had those kind of stories told before, just never anything that was really done on an animated scale. A little bit of War Dawn G1 episode, Orion Pax, Megatron, conflicting origins, all that kind of silliness. Most of it was always reserved and rarefied for the comic world, never for animation or movies. So I appreciate everything that movie did from an origin standpoint, because what's good about that is you could bring in non-Transformer fans. And that's the one thing I do want to address here is this movie is made for non-Transformer fans who don't know anything, because you're introduced to Orion Pax, you are introduced to Megatron, you are introduced to Bumblebee. And, it was funny because I went to see it with my wife, and she said to me afterwards, oh, it was so predictable. Megatron became evil. And it's like, yeah, you know that because you live with a psychopath that talks about it all the time. Of course, she could name every combiner because she lives with this. So to her, it was predictable because that story we all know. But for new people, they don't know that this guy D16 might end up becoming a psychopath and creating a terrorist organization on his entire planet. For some people, they don't know what Megatron is. They heard of the name, maybe in a vague sense. So there's also that element that's very important. Collector Prime. So if I miss any questions, guys, please let me know. T-Former Brainstorm 2002, left cheek, left cheek. Well, that's probably the best quote out of the 2007 movie. Collector Prime marketing drives so much. Good marketing sells the story, not the features. Well, totally. So many people get tricked into movie theaters for movies that aren't very good. Look, tell me how great Revenge of the Fallen is. It's probably, I don't know, it's probably the bottom two for me. Revenge of the Fallen is not very good. $700 million. No, wait. $900 million it made. $900 million. Bumblebee movie is way better than it barely made a quarter of that. $900 million. Why? Marketing and hype. That's why. Marketing and hype. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Look at, there's a lot of Marvel movies that aren't good that made very well in the box office because of just the marketing and hype associated with it. The FOMO. You can't miss this one because you won't know the next one. Michael QTF1 made with ILM and Skywalker sound. Well, again, it doesn't matter who made it. It doesn't matter who's featured in it. as long as it's a good story. Look, Transformers Animated didn't have the most dynamic animation. It didn't have the latest, greatest CG. It didn't have the craziest, sound effects or anything. It had great writing and great storytelling and great characters. And that carried that entire show. If you look at Transformers Animated as a screenshot, and then you're shown Transformers Prime and Beast Wars and some other shows, you might actually want to watch those ones because they look better. But then you look at Transformers Animated, and why does that win out everybody? Because story and character will win over anything, even bad animation. And I'm not saying Transformers Animated has bad animation. I'm just saying in comparison to some of the others, you would think, you would think so. Francesco, the sequel should be Megatron gains control of Cybertron, the third movie. Try to keep the speculation on the down low because I don't want to spoil for people too much. I'm not going to read the whole thing, Francesco, because there's still people who haven't seen the movie. It still hasn't officially come out yet. Michael Koo, don't leave the TF1 movie right away. Yeah, that I will say, and it's not really spoilers. There's a mid-credit scene, and then there's an after credit scene. You have to let all the credits run, everything, and then there's going to be one last thing. So don't leave. Don't think that just when you have, because you have most movies, they have what I call the colorful credits, where it's the credits, but there's still stuff going on in the background in terms of visuals. So it kind of entices you to stay. And then you get just the black background credits. Stay for those too, the black background credits, because after that, then you get the extra. They left it in there. So it's it's quite the thing. How you doing, Sharif? Welcome to the madness. But yeah, go see the movie. Go see the damn movie. Go see it, because every dollar is going to count. And I'm telling you, the opposite of that is going to be sending messages to the suits that we don't want this, that we want more Michael Bay, that we want more Revenge of the Fallen or Age of Extinction, that we want more of that, which, come on, guys, we know we don't. We know we don't. So it's something where you got to see the movie. I was sent for free. I'm going to see it again for free, but then I'm going to pay for it finally with a different group of friends afterwards, because I got to put my money into it. I want to feel like I'm doing my part. And I know it sounds like I'm shilling, but it's just not putting the money in. If we all just saw it for free and we didn't put the money in and everything, it's just going to lead to bad feels. It's just going to lead to movies that aren't going to be good. I said before Rise of the Beast came out, I said that if Rise of the Beast does well, it's going to send a message to Hasbro to go more in that Beast Wars 90s direction. It didn't do well. Rise of the Beast broke even. It didn't make a lot of money. The toys went on clearance. The Beast Wars reissue toys, all of them they all did terrible. Every single release of Beast Wars reissues went on clearance, which is a shame because Beast Wars is my favorite Transformer series of all time. But again, facts and feelings have to be put separately. That's why, when I was saying, hey, Earthspark isn't doing well, people are going what's wrong with you, you racist piece? It's no, I like Earthspark, but the facts are it's not doing well. I love Beast Wars. Toy line didn't do well. Not initially. 90s it did amazing, but I'm saying reissue line didn't do well. Yeah? Facts are more important than your feelings. Michael Koo, you know that when Proto Man uses the word damn, it's a freaking good movie. I say this and people give me crap for it, and I'm still 50-50 on it. It might be the greatest Transformer movie of all time, counting this. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. Oh, and again, I love this movie like a child. You have no idea how much I would bring the Rhino version of this VHS and then later on the DVD. I would bring it everywhere. I would show it anywhere I could, like religion. It's like I was a Jehovah Witness going around showing my religion to people. I love that movie to death. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. It has my boy Hot Rod in it. But this movie, the thing about this movie is it's modern and it's something you could show to non-Transformer fans. It's something that has humor, that has great music, that has a great storytelling element, that's dark, that like I'm going to say something and it's going to apply to these two things. Great music, dark, way different than what we're used to. Death, it's cruel, and it changes the status quo when it's all said and done. And I think maybe that's why I like those two movies so much and why they just rank up there is because you need to do something different in a movie about two robots that beat the hell out of each other. So, this is something again, a month from now when everyone in this chat has seen it, we'll be able to have this discussion better. And then we'll be able to really pick apart everything. That's why I'm always so hesitant to say things, because it's just, I want you guys to experience it for the first time. I want you guys to be smiling for 2 hours straight to the point that your cheeks hurt, because you're just going to be like, oh my God. I want that when that very last line of the movie is said, that a tear runs down the side of your face because you go, oh my God, I think we did it. I think they pulled it off this time. They gave us a Transformer movie that we actually wanted. You know? That's what it is. Brainstorm 2002. I just bought my tickets for the movie. Good boy. I have my, here, like, where's my phone? Like, I'll even show you guys. Look. There's my emails. Emails. Gotta find it on here somewhere. So I had to email it to myself just in case. Did I delete it? No, I didn't. Here we go. Oh, that's the breakfast premiere. Never mind. I don't have it on my phone. But yeah, the point is that, you know, like I got to see it early and all of this was like welled up inside me where it was just like, oh my God, like people need to know. They need to know how good this is. T-Formers 2002. I've only had friends who cared about seeing something new that aren't that in. Well, again, do you have friends that watch the Marvel movies? They go to see those movies. They go to see if they were willing to sit through Into the Spider-Verse, then they could go sit through this. If they're willing to sit through, Marvel movies, then they could sit through this. And again, this is an introductory into the hobby. It's not like they need to read like this giant textbook. Well, you need to know about this and da 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 before, otherwise you won't get this reference and that reference. So if they're willing to sit through those, they could come with you with this. You know what I mean? Or look, take that one friend of yours that you really like your best buddy who really doesn't want to see it. Pay for his ticket. Pay for his ticket and tell him this. If you like the movie, you have to give me the money back. How about that? Let that be the bet. If you enjoy the movie, like if you legitimately enjoyed the movie, then pay me back for the ticket. If you didn't, then it's on me. I paid for your ticket. That's how that's how confident you should be in this movie. Why caught the movie during last week's stream, and I'm so happy from it still. Well, there you go. Anyone who saw the movie left it going like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like they got it. They were just like, ugh! Finally. Guy, definitely a great movie for beginners. My girlfriend didn't realize D16 was Megatron and was genuinely shocked when it came out. Exactly. My wife is used to this psycho talking about this stuff all the time. So To her, it's not a surprise. But to everyone else in the theater, this is all new. You know, B-127 becoming Bumblebee, Alita becoming Alita 1. Brainstorm Proto, the new Alita 1 studio series isn't shipping out till November 2025. Oh my goodness. Jeez. November 2025. Woo! That can't be right. So all we're going to have is this and a Burger King figure for a year and a half? Almost? Oh my goodness. Well, get ready with that Burger King figure. Yeah, James, we're doing a live stream. I'm probably going to go on for another half hour because we're doing only 2 hours today. But we pretty much, we opened up the big ARC box today. It's empty now. Again, thank you, Hasbro, for being a boy. Thank you, Mark, who came last week into the live stream too and hung out, and Aaron and all the cool dudes. You know? Great time. See, some people here say May 2025. I imagine it's going to. One moment. I imagine it's going to be earlier than that. I think it'll break street dates. I could see it. Honestly, I could see it being around the time of the holiday season. That's crazy. May, my goodness. Even that's like so far away. But to be fair, I mean, this product has to be on shelves now for the fresh people. So like the newcomers don't know about Studio Series, so they're going to get their fix this way through these guys. Actually, it's funny they didn't give me the Bumblebee. Oh well, but at least they gave me this one. This one's good. That's what I was looking forward to. The Quint. Proto, what's your opinion on Masterpiece Star Saber? I think it's amazing. I feel that it's slightly better than the HasLab. It's the largest Masterpiece up to this point. We don't have God Jinrai yet, so I can't compare it. I really like it. I like the extras that it comes with. If I have one complaint about Masterpiece Star Saber, it's the same complaint I have with the HasLab. The big sword is too short. That's my only complaint. But Masterpiece Star Saber is incredible. It's really, and it doesn't have Victory Leo, which there's a third party that fills that in anyways. So, but I love Masterpiece Star Saber. It's incredible. Comes with extra stuff. Comes with a stand. Comes with all kinds of cool things. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. And imagine, I believe his MSRP was $125 back then. He was an early big Masterpiece. I want to say 125. I don't remember. That was like BotCon 2014 I bought him from Captured Prey, I want to say. Could be wrong there. But really good figure. Really, really good figure. Again, I personally feel it's better than the HasLab. Like if you took standalone HasLab Star Saber compared to the Masterpiece, I think the Masterpiece is better. Michael Koo, that's still a lot of Transformer 1 figures that you get from Walmart. Might not be as movie accurate as you want. Well, again, these aren't for us. This is for a newcomer to the audience. This is for the kid that wants to have a toyetic product. Like this is a birthday present. You know what I mean? This is like a big birthday present. Oh, you're 7. You saw the Transformer movie. You really like it. Here's a big old Optimus figure that's simple to transform. These are a little more complex. These are a little more rarefied, and obviously they're way more expensive. The reality is this costs the same as this. Actually, this I think is even more cheaper. So it's something where, you buy this from a parent perspective. This is more bang for your buck. It's a bigger figure. Ooh, it's got the matrix glow. It's got in the chest that's removable. It's probably, like, again, let's be real. It's not for us, but it's a fun product still. It's something that, in on an island, it's still a fun product. But again, we got this, so we don't need this. But this exists for a very specific demographic and audience that are newcomers, that are kids. Same thing, like something like this. This is the Christmas product, the birthday product, the big expensive product. That's fun, and the lights and sounds and the actions, and it changes from Orion to Optimus and everything. Um, what do we got here? T-Formers 2002. I bought a custom metal blade for the HasLab Star Saber. Yep, exactly. I got that same one too. Really cool, custom made by hand. Sorry, mail truck keeps driving by, and I keep going. Something else coming. Um, but yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. I know we're going deep into the inside baseball of it and talking more the business side of it, but it's the conversations that this podcast exists for. Because if you want to just have toy reviews, there's a lot of talented people that do that already. I don't want to say who, but I had a private message with a big toy reviewer, and I was like, "Hey, man, you'll be the first to review that one when you get it in the mail." You know, don't want to name names, but so it's something where I'll leave that to them. You know, can I do toy reviews? Of course, I used to do toy reviews, but I feel that there's a better message that can be told through this podcast than you know So its articulation is the leg that goes like this in the arm, and he comes with the Matrix of Leadership, which I really like because it uses translucent plastic, and I really like the back here, and I really like that he has an articulated underwear. The underwear that's articulated is really nice. That's pretty cool. I like the upskirt action that's going on there. Really good. It's an homage to the episode 37 where Starscream was really looking up his skirt. I rather talk about the business of it more than anything and speculate about the future and stuff. Talib, I'm an MP shill. I wonder how quickly we'll see an MPM TF1 figure. Well, once again, we're going to be in this situation where Bumblebee movie came out and they right away fast tracked Bumblebee movie masterpieces because they thought the Bumblebee movie was going to be successful. And because it wasn't successful, they went, ooh, okay. So they made sure that when Rise of the Beast came out, they didn't have any masterpieces ready from the get-go. There was no masterpieces for Rise of the Beast. They were going to wait to see if people liked the movie and then make masterpieces. And guess what? Rise of the Beast didn't do well, so they're like, ooh, good thing we didn't do that. Good thing we didn't make a masterpiece Optimus Primal. As much as I would have loved that, I would have bought it. They didn't do that. So now, if this movie becomes successful, then we'll see movie masterpieces. We're seeing more of a reaction to it. Michael, because I might be buying that Energon Glow Bumblebee. His robot mode looks really good. It does look good. Got a nice look to it. Maybe that's why they probably didn't give the Bumblebee mainline one, because I got this one here. It's got the glowing wheels. Does it glow, though? Or is it just... Oh, it's just translucent plastic? It does have light up. It says here you have to push the chest. But there's lights. There you go. There you go. Glowing lights. We all learn stuff. We all learn together. Francesco, after Studio Series 86 Devastator, which Studio Series 86 character should be next? I'd love to see Astro Train and Commander Class. Well, you're talking Studio Series big guy or just Studio Series in general? 86. Because, there's a slew of movie characters from the 86 movie that haven't gotten their Studio Series treatment yet. But, if you're talking big guys, Unicron, that's probably the most obvious for people. But outside of Unicron, they could easily look at the shuttle that they used to escape from the Decepticons in the '86 movie, turn that into a character if they want to do a Titan class. It could have that disconnecting part of it because the front and the back could disconnect, and they can make it like it's a Titan class that's two separate characters that transform. Much how we got like an arc that still also at the end of the day had at the end of the day it still had the mainframe element to it. Oh, here comes Butters. Butters, what's up? Butters McNutters. He's in the window here. You want to be on camera? No? Just want to chill? All right. Remold. Well, I was saying you could even take the arc. You could remold the arc and do Omega Supreme, for from animated. Might not be accurate to how it looked in the show, but it'll kind of fill the gap a little bit for what people want. And it'll get some mileage out of that mold because let's be real, the arc didn't get. Look at all these Titan classes that didn't get a second repaint, you know? And this goes back. Like, obviously Devastator got his variations between Takara and San Diego Comic-Con. But then when you move forward afterwards, you go like, they didn't do anything with Triptychon outside of, oh, hey, there's a different remolded thing for the Japanese version that's kind of separate from the base figure. Actually, it was a little bit of a repaint. But look at Predaking, nothing with Predaking, absolutely nothing. They finally did something with Omega Supreme. They finally did something with Scorponok into Black Zarek, but then the arc is kind of just going like, eh. And then I don't know what you do with Cybertron Metroplex. That was just, we need to keep a trademark. But what do you do with Cybertron Metroplex? That's a tough one. And then the Nemesis, I don't know. Some of them you kind of paint yourself into a hole. You could make up an idea. You could do a variation. You could do a different paint scheme, put a new head on it. But in terms of something that's a solid character, after watching the Bump and Chicken video, I really want a Titan class broadside. A broadside, someone that definitely needs a Titan class. That would be something you could do a Titan class, and then you could do a G.I. Joe crossover, and then call it the USS Flag. And then you get 2 releases of that Titan class. Because then you could get a USS Flag that's affordable for modern Joe fans, because no one's going to get the USS Flag that. And by the way, my arms don't even convey how big the USS Flag is, because it's actually bigger than that. It's the size of a couch. It's what I'm sitting on more than anything. French is, any character. Oh, well then, I would say like continue the trend of Studio Series 86 dying characters. I would do a box set, like a multi-pack, like they've already done. And I would do Windcharger, Wheeljack, and just do a slight tweak repaint of the Studio Series 86 RC, just to get another run of that mold. And then same thing, like just take, obviously we need a new Windcharger, but take that Wheeljack that's already pretty good to begin with, and just give it that dead paint scheme, you know. Where are we at? Brainstorm 2002. I personally would love an 86 dead Windcharger and Windcharger. There you go. See? Why like why? Godzilla X Triptychon should have been a collab. Well, I'm kind of disappointed by the head sculpt that was used for the Grimlock. They should have. I understand they put it all into. They didn't want to use that Grimlock robot mode head, so I think the budget went into the robot mode head to make it more, Megatron-y. But I would have preferred way more. Hey, Butters, come up here. I would have preferred more if they would have put more money into doing a more Godzilla accurate kind of head sculpt. Want to come? No? Cats. Cats! Curious like a cat. No. Anyways, he'll pop on when he wants. Wind charger and wheel jacks. Yeah, the people would want that. Kranix and Obelisk. Yeah, hey. And they do transform. If you look at the Marvel comics, the original script, how they escaped was not through shuttles. They escaped through, you know, through transformation. So you could do that. It could be screen accurate. And you could call it Studio Series 86 Concept because it was a concept more so because it was only done in the Marvel books and in the universe profiles. How the heck do we not have Hot Wheels TF1 Icon 500 toy line? Again, I think it's a lot of it has to do with just they want to see how this movie does first. You know what I mean? I think that it's like I said before, Bumblebee movie and Rise of the Beast really made licensors and a lot of different people go, we got to be careful. Because think about it, right? How much licensed product is there for Transformers 1? Rise of the Beast, we learned about the Rise of the Beast designs through mugs that we saw. Like the first time we saw AirRaiser or Rhinox or any of them, it was like a mug by a company. First time we saw like some of the other movie characters were like bath towels and all kinds of things. None of that with Transformers 1 because again, Rise of the Beast and Bumblebee movie really scared licensors from wanting to engage in a Transformer brand that might not do well. What we're going to end up happening is if this movie does well, we're going to get this all later. It's kind of like Baby Yoda. They didn't know that Baby Yoda was going to do so well. So when The Mandalorian came out, Baby Yoda became this huge hit, and there was nothing of merchandise-wise for people to go out and buy, and it all came much later. All the plushes and all that all came afterwards. So it is what it is. Yep, Timmy, it's not a secret stream. It's just more that the Walmart stream didn't do well, and I opened up this big box. When this goes, like, people don't realize whenever we end our streams, it goes private for a moment because YouTube has to process this video. So it gets processed, and then usually 30 minutes later, it goes live again for replay. So when the replays happen, you'll be able to see all the wacky stuff that we got. It's okay if I'm secretly watching. Everyone's allowed to watch. You could, yeah, you have the Commander class. You could do Delta Magnus again. You could do Shattered Glass if you want. There's certain molds that they have built-in stuff. They have things that are built in. I call them repaint brothers. You do a prowl and you have like 4 repaints caked in right there. You do a Seeker Jet, 21 repaints right there. Even a hot rod. You have a hot rod mold. You do Dark Rodimus. You have that right away. If you want to stretch it, you could then do a sideburn. So there's at least 3 right there with hot rod. And then if you then want to do the movie accurate pink colors, toy colors. That's when you want to stretch that even more. So, Timmy says, I'm dealing with the Boeing strike here at work. Oh, that sucks. You work for Boeing? That sucks. Sucks always when you guys got to fight for your pay, which as you should, as everyone should. The top make way too much sometimes that the bottom gets nothing. Is there an original script comic book? Are we talking about Transformers the movie, the original 86 one? So the original 86 movie adaptation by Marvel Comics in 1986, a lot of those aspects of it were based off of like the third script of the movie, not the final script. So you have the death of Ultra Magnus is done completely different. The way Kranix and everything, how they were captured and stuff. Even the opening of the Matrix and the visual of how the Matrix looked. The Matrix was more of a coconut, if you want to call it that. And the opening of the Matrix was much more wordy. I am the chosen one. I am the one meant to do this moment now, light our darkest hour, you know? So like it was like an early script version. The coloring of some characters were different. The mech suits kind of had a red and blue kind of color scheme to them that was then changed afterwards with the animation models to a more sleek white. It's a lot of that. Uh, T-Formers 2002. If they do a Delta Magnus, I mean, pulling off the Magnus mold again, since it's kind of rare right now. Well, it's not that it's rare. It's Commander classes, unfortunately, ship two per case, and a lot of retail stores buy one case. So when your Walmart that has millions of people come in, and we're not even going to talk about other Transformer fans and scalpers. We're just talking the millions of people who come in and might buy a birthday present or a Christmas present or treat themselves. There's only two commanders on the shelves. That some Walmarts that like that's literally it. They buy one case and they get two. Some will get five and there'll be 10 on the shelves. But again, we haven't even talked about Transformer fans and scalpers yet. Just the millions of people that walk into a Walmart. And then there's some Walmarts that might not buy commanders at all. So it's just commanders have a weak population. Same thing with the Titans because of shelving space and how much a toy manager of that section wants to purchase. And everyone has different needs. If all of this stuff is lingering behind and the SKU is all filled up, they're not going to buy new stuff to fill it. There's only so much that they have to buy, pretty much. My store didn't even carry commander classes. Well, there you go. I'm not talking out of my butt, as much as that would be a great talent. James says the Walmart around here don't carry Command or Titan. There you go. That's what I'm saying. My Walmart that's near me, the last time I saw a Commander was Roddy. Was there anything after that? I saw Motormaster. I don't think I saw. No, I didn't see. I didn't see Magmatron yet. No, so yeah, but mine carries whatever it can. And again, maybe Magmatron was there, but I didn't see it. I went on a Saturday, you know, and the two that were probably there got bought. You know, how you doing, Soundlord? How's it going? Brainstorm 2002. The only commander I ever saw in Walmart was Rodimus back in. Rodimus was plentiful. He did not sell well. He did not sell well, my boy. He went on clearance quite a bit. And that's probably what also probably made a lot of toy managers reduce buying Rodimuses. Not Rodimus, excuse me, commander classes. But he did not sell. No, sir. Where are we at? Where are we at? Last commander you saw was Motormaster. Yeah, Motormaster I remember seeing. I remember seeing two of them. GameStop would usually also have them, but GameStop also asks a little more. So that also, like, the reason why I'll see commanders always at GameStop is they'll always have them in stock, but because they're asking a little more than normal MSRP, people don't buy them. And they kind of linger until they get red tagged, and then people buy them. And red tagging with GameStop is when it goes on clearance. Yellow tag is when it goes on sale. Just looking at Butters. Butters is like staring at the pressure gauge. Here in the UK, our biggest toy store is Smith's, and they only have commanders online now. Well, that's another issue too. Is that if you're not the United States or Canada, and you have different stores that have different distribution licenses, like in the case of, you mentioned the UK, so Hasbro UK only became a thing recently. Um, and they're just slowly starting to build a distribution center out there to make things more available. For the longest time, the UK and Australia, which were two very anglophone markets, that got some of the worst Transformer distribution ever. You know, so it's something where they're trying to fix that. And again, they're fixing it, but if in the end they fix it and it's not profitable, then they might go, well, this is why we didn't have it to begin with. So if they end up getting a lot of good inventory, make sure that you're emptying your shelves in Smiths and beyond. That way it continues that, and then it justifies having it. Uh, GameStop sells something outside of Funko Pop, says Brainstorm. Yeah, I know. Well, that is what it is with that. Let me tell you. You know, that's the unfortunate reality with what's up, G? What's up? But yeah, Spotify won't release TF1 movie soundtrack until September 20th. Um, I believe some of the tracks are right now on YouTube Music, if I remember correctly. I don't think it's all of them though. So if you are looking for some music to listen to. All right, guys, I think we're at the 2 hour mark, more or less. Oh, we have 9 minutes left, but if we don't have any more questions, I think we might call it quits. Again, thank you, Hasbro. Which piece will I use here to show? But so many things here. Thank you, Hasbro, for all the stuff, all the crazy stuff. So much crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. Um, Thank you for the fans for tuning in for my unboxing and to talk about the 40th anniversary of Transformers and your memories in the chat too. And yeah, sorry about doing a Tuesday stream. I just figured we'd do something in the wake again of the boringness of the Walmart one. And we'll talk again on Saturday because we know we'll have news then and we'll have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. Wednesday, tomorrow, I'm going to be seeing the movie again. So maybe we'll have some other stuff to talk about too when Saturday rolls around too. But it is what it is. Thank you again for listening, and thank you for being a fan of the Transformer Slag podcast. If you want to support us more, we have the Patreon link down there. We have the YouTube members that are those green names. You could join with the join button that's also there. But in the description of this video, we'll also have a Patreon link. If you want to join Patreon, that helps the podcast a lot. It gives you access to our Discord and all kinds of stuff too. Or you double dip. There's some people in the chat right now that are double dippers. They get the YouTube membership and they get the Patreon, whatever makes them happy. However you want to do it. Or you don't have to have either. It's only if you want to support us. Anyways, thanks again, guys. And enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, roll out. And I dropped the mic there. So I'll just click here then. Roll out.